What's up, guys? I'm gonna make a quick video. People have been watching the torque converter video, and what I've been doing to fix the problem with these cheap Chinese torque converters is put a little grease on the rollers. It works really well. I've tried the dry grease. I've tried pretty much everything you're supposed to do. It doesn't really work. It usually works for like maybe half an hour. So I've had pretty good luck with this. Been using it on everything, and you still got to clean it every once in a while, but that's common with a torque converter. So I'm just gonna do this real quick, show you a quick video, and show you the type of greasing I'm using, what I do. The difference is huge in performance. If the torque converter is not working right, this is the driver, 40 series driver. What happens is this sheave doesn't go all the way back in. So when you're driving, you're going at speed, you start to slow down, it basically doesn't downshift. So if you come into a steep hill or something, it'll stay in a high gear. Sometimes if it gets bad enough, it'll just get stuck where, if you can't get it in, your motor will stall. You won't even be able to start your engine. So I've had that happen a few times, messed with these for a while. So what I've been doing with the grease, it's working really well. So I'll just show you guys how I do it. You got your lock washer on there, peened over. So I'm just going to get that out with a little chisel. Alright, got that nice and flat. I got a 1-inch axle right here, clamped in a vise, just an old axle. These things, the nuts, the first time you take them off, can be pretty difficult to get off. Slide that on. Got my pipe wrench. See how this goes. Vise is not tight enough. Try that. Alright, broke that nut loose. Sometimes you gotta give it a little, little hit. Got the nut. The washer. Now that you got the nut off, the outer cover will come off. Got a spring in there. Make sure you don't lose your bushings. You got a bushing on this side. You also have a bushing in here. Alright, so now got this apart. This piece will come off. These are your rollers. They are your weights. What happens is the centrifugal force, when this starts spinning, these go out and they push this piece outwards. So what happens is these get stuck in the outward position, and they don't allow this piece, this piece comes out when you start driving. If these get stuck, it won't go back in. So when you start going up a hill or you slow down, if they don't go back in, your motor will either stall or it just won't have the performance it's supposed to. The difference when it's working right is night and day. When it downshifts and it keeps the motor in a high RPM, you can go up steep hills no problem. I mean, if you're using a 420 with a 40 series torque converter, they do work really well. Like I said, this is a cheap one. So what I do, you just pop these out. I got 3 springs there. These come out pretty easy. See that? Alright, so take your weights off. The grease I've been using, had it for quite a while. Premium high temperature grease. So there's not really a whole lot of information on exactly what it is. This is something I would use like if I was greasing up an axle into a hub or something, just so it doesn't get stuck later, or something like that. But anyways, multi-purpose, automotive, industrial, farm, and marine. So it's pretty waterproof, excellent high temperature performance, meets NLGI GCLB requirements. Oh, and NLGI number 2 lithium complex grease. There you go. That's what I've been using. So just take a little bit. Make sure your weights are nice and clean. Don't get anything on them. And I just put a light coating on there. You don't want too much. You don't want it coming out and getting on your belt. That's why they tell you not to use grease. But every time I have to clean it, it's usually, just a little bit will fling up around the outside of this. It never leaves this area, so it won't ever get on your belt as long as you don't go too heavy. This lasts usually quite a while the way that I'm doing it. So just put a light coat on all 3 of them. Actually, I usually put a little bit on the, usually put just a little bit in here too. Really light. So that's pretty much it. Put the springs back on. Alright, hook them all together, and you can just push them back down into place. Just get one in and just push the other 2 in there. Make sure there's no dirt in there. Before you put it back together, make sure your bushings are there. You got 1 bushing here. Should actually, I did just touch this right here. You want this stuff super clean. You don't want any grease on the sheaves. You don't want any grease in the center here. So you got to be careful about that. All right, put the spring back on. Put these 2 pieces back together. Make sure your bushing's in there. Washer. Put your nut back on there. I usually don't go crazy putting the nut back on. You got the lock washer on, and the tighter you put it on, the harder it's going to be to get off later when you got to clean it again. That's it. You gotta peen your washer back over. Wood chisel works pretty good for that. Bam, not going anywhere. Alright, so then, you know, I always take some brake clean. I wipe this out real good just in case you got any grease on it where the belt's gonna ride. That's pretty much it. Never really have a trouble with the rear ones. They always seem to work pretty good. I ride in really dusty conditions a lot. I am going to show you guys a quick video, just to show you what I'm working on right now. I was going to put independent suspension on this one. I'm actually moving, so I'm not going to have time. So I wanted to get it together. But anyways, I'll show you. So, got the Tomberlin 150. I know I've put this in some of my videos saying that I was going to build it. This thing was yellow. It was a two-seater. I got the motor mount in there already. If you haven't seen my other videos, pretty much that's where it starts. Get the motor mount to fit. Got the sprockets lined up. Put some new shocks on the back. Made it a one-seater. It was a two-seater. So I just had to move the steering wheel. Threw a new seat in it. Still got to paint the front end parts. I was thinking about replacing the shocks. I think I'm just going to use these shocks. Maybe paint the springs. Paint the A-arms. But yeah, this thing's going to be pretty cool. If you guys haven't seen my videos, I'm basically just putting 420s on everything. So you got that two-seater back there. I never actually posted a video building it. I think I am going to do that for this buggy. Try to take a little bit less video so it wasn't so much to edit. But anyways, thought I'd show you guys the torque converter thing. Really works good. In the Odyssey, you know, when I first started messing with it, it was night and day, the difference. So, alright, hope you guys enjoy the video. Subscribe to the channel. Watch my other videos, and I'll see you guys soon.